Everything is live. My name is Jason Bach. This is my Random Code stream, which I'm doing every Thursday night at 8:15 Central. So hopefully if you watch it either during the stream when it's live or later, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I've got my drink on as usual per Thursday night. And I'm gonna get into the code fairly soon, but this is obviously a very tough day for a lot of reasons. With the invasion of Ukraine by Russia and all of the badness doesn't even cut it. All that going on with that, it's truly just a awful thing. And I hope that there's some resolution to stopping this. I mean, nobody wants this to go on, and we'll see. We will see. It just makes it, it's hard enough just hearing about all the things that are going on. I can't, and I'm sitting here in a nice, comfy home, and I don't have to worry about what's going to happen to my house and my neighbors and my friends and my family. It's not a fun situation to be in. So with all that said, I am going to be coding tonight, and I'm going to be continuing on with some instant API work that I've been doing along with Jeff Fritz. He's the mastermind behind all this. And when I said he's concocted all this and like some wizard's brew, so to speak, that's true. I've just been kind of following and going, hey, can I do a source generator? Just putting that in there and seeing, does it work? Does it make sense? And the last episode that I did last Thursday, we got it to work, which is cool. And I've done some other work since then. And I've actually had a couple of chats with Jeff, both in GitHub and also with a call we did a day or two ago about, well, what should we do? What's the right thing to do with this instant API as it pertains to either doing it with a reflection-based approach or a source generator approach? And I basically said, why not both? Why don't we just do both for a while? Let's see how it pans out and let's see how it works. And then, and then we'll just kind of say, okay, well, what makes the most sense for this to work? One of the things I put, and do I have that post up here? I think I do. Yeah, I do. So I'm just going to, hold on, let me come over here and let me switch to this view. We'll get to these notes in just a second, but I'm going to pull this over here so we can see this. And so this is the issue that I've been working with that's in the instant APIs. I'll put that in the chat just in case you want to take a look at that. There we go. So I got basically to this point. I was trying to think of like, what are some advantages and disadvantages? There's this ID parsing code. If you go into what Jeff is doing with the reflection approach, it's this that I'm talking about. And this gets, at least right now, though there's probably a way to cache this and minimize the pain, so to speak. But this is something I can actually figure out in the source generator and hard code in how you change the ID from the route into the type that you need. So I said, we could, hold on, let me go back over here. That this actually is a little bit of an advantage in terms of performance. I can reference properties on the DB context, directly, like when I say db.context rather than db set contact. And I'm not really, I'm not a EF expert by any means. So I don't know if this is actually a better thing or a worse thing. It reads better, in my opinion. You set up the context to have these properties on it, you might as well use them. There's no reflection in setting up the map calls. But to be fair, this is only done once at startup. So if you come back here, this call is only done once. It does the map on the endpoint route builder. And that's actually something I need to put in my notes because I should, I'm not sure if that's the type I'm putting in as the extension method, but we'll get to that in a moment. So this is only called once. So this little bit of work is only done one time, and then it's only what's done in here that matters. Okay. So from a performance standpoint, Jeff actually did some like simple stopwatch type things, and he said the source generator example is faster. It's like 300 milliseconds compared to 25 milliseconds. But at the same time, that's only done once. That's only done once at the beginning of your application when you start up. For example, if I come back over here and I go to program, right now it just has his map instant API, but this is just once. Once you get those calls wired up with the minimal API, everything just happens like it should. You don't hit that reflection stuff other than that ID stuff that he has in there. So Andy, you say, I think that source generators are always better than reflection. Well, there's no free lunch. There's, to be fair, and I think there's a lot of truth to what Andy just said here. Is that, and I believe this strongly, is that there is a lot of perf benefit to source generators in that if you're trying to replace something that you're doing in reflection and it's being done a lot in your code, then you probably, and again, I have to always do the hand waving thing here of probably, because everybody should always do their performance analysis to make sure how things work on their machine and in their environments. But if you are doing something repeatedly with reflection or reflection emit or expression trees and compiling them, or on and on, you probably will see a perf benefit if you emit all the code as C# and that gets compiled into your assembly. Now, there's also a hit that you have to take for the source generator to run. And, that's why I mean there's no free lunch. That still has to happen. So, that's one thing I need to do as well with some of the things I've been working on with source generators is take the amount of time the source generator is running and creating that code and compare that to, well, what's the trade-off point where that eventually overwhelms what you do with reflection because you're doing it repeatedly, and the C# code that you're emitting is just, it's going to have better performance because it's baked into the assembly. And that's assuming also you're writing C# code that's performant. Okay, all that stuff. To say it's always better than reflection, there's the, well, what do you mean by always? Assuming that you're writing code that I think would be considered decent performance C# code, that code in and of itself, yes, I think virtually in all cases that would probably be more performant. But with something like this, there is the thing to consider and keep in mind that the reflection hit is only one time at startup, and how bad is it? Now, also one of the things that I was just thinking as I'm thinking out loud here is, and Jeff did this, like you can see the stopwatch thing here on how to build these. This is 1 DB context with 1 table. What happens if you have a context that has 5 tables or 10 tables, or you have 3 contexts that you want to map in, or you want to, one of the ideas that Jeff has had is with the mapping is it's not just mapping for REST APIs. It could be mapping where you add on a GraphQL or you add on a gRPC endpoint or something like that. And now all that's being done with reflection. So now suddenly your startup time actually starts to increase more. And that 300 milliseconds to 25 milliseconds that we're seeing right now with this simple example, that suddenly gets magnified even more at startup. So, there's a lot to consider here. And the point is, I think Jeff and I came to the conclusion of, let's just do this in tandem. Let's do these in parallel. Let's keep both in place. Let's see how this pans out. And then at some point come to some decision of saying, do we still just keep 2 in, or do we finally land on one or the other? So that's kind of the work that's been, this parity work that I mentioned here. That's kind of what's been going on. And so what I wanted to do tonight is do some work with this one quick thing here, which I believe should be able to see this right here in the dependencies, the latest version of my code. when I am calling the map context, I'm passing in a web application, not that interface, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I probably would be able to change that, and that would just be fine. And that should work. So that should be a simple thing to do. One of the other things he's done, and it's the right thing to do, is to use like results okay, actually returning not the DB context, the EF output, but put that in with the right codes and everything. So I'll put that in as well. Hopefully those two won't take as long. The one thing that might be taking a little bit of time is the configuration. I put in a configuration approach for source generators that's somewhat similar to what Jeff did. We did talk about, let's try to come to parity with that and do something that's very, very similar, or sharing the same code. So the problem though that I have right now is the way that this project is set up is, come back over here, I have these helpers, and that is also well, I take that back. That's a .NET 6 project. That's right, because that's actually in the that's in this APIs to generate, config, and stuff like that. So okay. That's an assembly that you would actually reference at runtime from, for example, your API executable project. I don't reference it here in the generators. The thing I was worried about is I would have to reference this, but that's not true. I can actually probably get away with doing some of this stuff so that I'm looking for a particular shape of a type or something like that. The thing I was worried about is that he has in here somewhere, I believe, where is that? It's not the type table, but it's where is that? I found it before. Jeff, you're kind of a messy coder. So I'm just going to see that right now. A little messy here, a little hard to find stuff at times. Where is that? Is that the type? No, that's, oh, for God's sakes, where is that? That's in the current project. No, he's got it. Yeah, there it is. I knew he had a record. So it's, of course, it's in the API methods to generate file. So he's got a record there, and I don't think you can reference a record in a .NET Standard 2.0 project. I'm not sure about that. So, but now that I'm looking at this, I'm not sure it actually really matters, because I can just say, oh, I'm looking for this table API mapping. The thing that I'm a little concerned about, though, is the way he's done this config is that there's this builder that's taking a D with the context, and then on the constructor, he's taking this. And I'm like, for what I need for source generators, I don't need to do this. Moreover, I don't want to do this. There's no reason why I need an instance of the context to do this. The thing that I realized, though, at the end of the day, is that he has this, it's not the build method here. He's got a region. Oh, regions, so bad. But at the end of the day, there's this build, and this gives you this config thing. And that is what I believe you really want to use. That basically gives you your tables. And I think these are the tables that, if I look at what a type table is, that's just the name of the table. That's the instance type. See, and these are things that I don't really know if that's what I want from a source generator standpoint, because this may be a little bit of overkill for what I need for the source generator. So I'll come back to this later tonight and kind of play with this and figure out, like what makes the most sense. I do need the name. I do need the APIs to generate. But if you look at what's actually generated for the source generator and how it can do its configuration, is I set this all up, and then you pass in this configuration that I can just look at and say, for a given table, like contacts, I don't have to do it by string. I don't have to look it up on the DB context instance. I know there's a table called contacts, sorry. And then given that table context that I have, its API is like, oh, I can't navigate to that under the symbol. Of course I can't. That is my context tables. And that's the enum. That's right. Okay. And then, yeah, when I set this up, I have for each table a table config, and that sets what's the name of it, essentially the enumeration, the name here, which I could have done like an enum.toString. In my case, that would have worked. Is included, yes, and then the APIs to generate all. So yeah, I might, now that I'm looking at this, I'm not exactly sure if these two worlds can quite map together. We want to have something that at the end of the day, I think satisfies both worlds really well, but can also allow each one to play to their strengths. But we'll get to that later tonight. And I think that's the last thing I want to work on. So Andy also says here that create a source generator for serializing and found it much more performant than using JSON with reflection. That does not surprise me. And again, getting back to this point, I really want to be clear that, yeah, I mean, source generators for the vast majority of things, if you compare it to doing something that you would with reflection, I can't say 100% of the time it's always going to be better, but I would bet that it would be faster. That code in of itself would be faster. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And in fact, let's see if I can bring this up. Hold on. I want to be very sure that I do not. Forgot about that. Hold on. Hold on. There's this weird bug that if I click off of the StreamYard tab in the browser that I'm in and I create a new tab, it gets all wonky and it like freezes. And so all I have to do is like alt tab off of it. I don't know why it does this, but that's the world that it works in. Let me see if I can bring this up. That one. Yeah, and let me just pull this over here so you can see this. So this is this benchmark MockNet project that compares all these different mocking frameworks in terms of their performance. The one I wrote is called Rocks. That is one that's source generated. And he just published the latest results today. And if you look at all the different frameworks, comparing Fake It Easy, Just Mock Lite Mock, and Substitute PCL Mock and mine, for the vast majority of cases, I think for all of them, it's at least an order of magnitude, if not more, faster than any of the others. And in this one case, it's only twice as slow. And this keeps me up at night. It's like the one thing I want to figure out, how can I beat it? How can I make it better? So maybe at some point with my YouTube channel, with my free code sessions, I might dive into that again and see if there's any way I can make that a little bit faster. But the point of why I bring this up is because I can source generate all this. It all gets compiled. These other approaches do things with reflection emit, and it can cache a lot of stuff, but it's still got to hit that. And I think to me this is kind of a testament to say source generators can make things much better. But like I said again with this API thing, if it's a one-time hit at the beginning, is it easier, especially from a maintenance standpoint, to do this where you're writing this with reflection as compared to trying to do this with a source generator? I can appreciate that the source generator approach is a little bit harder to do, but it's also not insurmountable. So anyway, let's actually get into some code and try to update some things here. So I think the first thing I had on my list here is Endpoint Route Builder. So what that means is if I come over here to my generator and I go to my builder, I think the only place, if I come back and look at the code that I'm generating, is where I say web application. Because, if I come back up to what Jeff has been doing, the extensions, he's passing in a endpoint route builder. And then he does the scope thing. And I think he's doing the scope thing because he needs his context builder to do the configuration builder to actually know what the DB context is, which I would rather avoid to do. So I don't really care about this, but I think at some point he's actually saying, let's get the tables for the context. And if I look at map API extension methods, all these are using endpoint route builder. And that's the thing that I want here. Okay. And that is in ASP core routing. That also matters because I need to have that namespace in the generated code. Okay. I believe, Yeah, map get just works there. Okay. Right. So yeah, if I hover over this, well, for some reason it's not really being nice and saying if I have 12 into this, it doesn't go there, which I thought it would, but it's not. Anyway, okay, so endpoint route builder is what we want to do. Okay. So where am I using that's the API generator config builder. That will be web application extension. So I go on my project and I just say, where's all the places I'm doing it? This is the only spot. Okay. So yes, if I look, those are just map instance. And if I look at what I'm doing here, then I'm returning the app. Map of yeah, okay, but I go map API extensions. This is initialize get all. Oh, did he change that? I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Map instance. Yeah, he's still returning an endpoint route builder. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So let's come into here and say we're going to change this to being that. Okay. And I don't think anything else should change from that point on, at least what I'm doing. Why do I have that commented out? Get that in there anymore. Okay. Let's then actually go into the DB context API builder. Because I believe yes, this is where I'm putting in all the types. Not the types, the namespaces. So what we want is ASP.NET Core routing. Okay. Okay. I think that should, well, it should take care of the change. Now we got to run the test because a lot of things are going to break and blah, 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 blah. I am kind of curious. Oh yeah, I can just check here. Okay, so if I go into app is web application, and that does endpoint route builder. This is in builder. I don't think I'm going to need builder anymore, is my point. So I don't think this is necessary anymore to actually compiling my code. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is ship it. We're not going to ship it. Let's run our tests first, right? We got to run tests. So I think what we're saying here is we should no longer see builder. We should see, what did I say it was? I can't remember anymore. That was just like 30 seconds ago. Routing. Routing. And since this is going to be an assorted set, it's going to come out that way. Okay. And then web application extensions. Actually, what this should be is a web application extension builder. If we want to be good with names, we should actually change the name of this thing, which I will in just a moment. But first, why did I come here in the first place? In my tests, yeah, I wanted to change this to being what this is. Okay. So return that. It's going to take that. Now, the rest of it should be just fine. Nothing else changes, and it should all still work. But to be a good citizen of the world, we're going to say endpoint running builder extensions builder, because that's not, you want to call these the endpoint route builder extensions because it should be, naming is hard. So if I come back here, then this should be that, right? Yeah. Okay. And I think that's I think that's it. So let's run this test and see it fail because you know me. Yeah, nothing's gonna succeed the first time and never should. In fact, I'm gonna take off 3 of these for just now. I only want one of them to run. So let's see what I done busted. Let's see what failed first. And come on. First time's always the charm. First time always takes forever. On Visual Studio, you can go faster than this. Oh, well, at least the Test Explorer is like scrolling. One failed. Okay, well, that's great. What failed? The type route data is defined in assembly as number for routing abstractions. Well, oh, oh, oh. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of important, isn't it? We definitely want to include for the first. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, of many things we need to do, is make sure that we're actually including the assembly, right? That would be important. It's not going to fix this, but we definitely want to make sure that we're including it. Okay, run the test again. I'm expecting it to fail, but let's fix the thing. Yeah, it still fails. That's okay. Specified sequences, duplicate items, parameter. What? Really? That's a new one. I have not seen that one before. Huh. Oh, of course. What you think is easy is never easy. Specified sequences, duplicate items, parameter metadata ref. So putting this one in actually, that's routing, that's builder, that's hosting, that's that. Well, that's interesting. Is there a, you have an add range? But yeah, why not? It's a Thursday night. What else I got to do? var referenced assemblies equal to a new hash set of assembly. No, I said assembly. Thank you. Now, can I actually initialize it by just something like this? Yes, I can. Okay. So give me a moment. Hold on. I heard I watched today. Love was it not? Is it Hot Ones? It's that show where they make all these people like eat 10 different chicken wings and get hotter. And they just did Dave Grohl today. And it really, he's a hoot. Actually making, I forget the host's name. The host is awesome. Whoever runs that show, he's like one of the best I've ever seen. He's just so laid back, but his questions, like everybody that he interviews, it always makes a comment that his questions are really good. Like, how did you find out about this or whatever? You know, and Henry Rollins actually said, that's a good question a couple of times. And for Henry Rollins to say that was like, wow, that's a big deal. Anyway, Dave Grohl said something today like, you know, well, man, tomorrow I got to go to Narnia. And he's like, what? He said, yeah, I got to go to Narnia tomorrow. He's like, what's Narnia? Narnia your business. Bad, bad, awful joke. Okay, so let's say add range. Well, okay, wait, say add, and then do this. Say add range, and then if I put in reference assemblies here, is that good enough? Is that an enumerable? That of course it's not. You need an enumerable. What? Hash set. They're like some magical system link thing as enumerable using system link. Yeah, and it's smart enough to put that there, but it's still not working. Okay, so as enumerable gives you enumerable of assembly. Oh, God. Yeah, that doesn't work. What I want here is I want to add. Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine. We could say here for each assembly, referenced assembly and assemblies. If I'm going to metadata reference here, isn't there a way to say like meta data reference create from stream, create from file, create from image? None of those I really want. So just not do that. Okay, so what we're going to do though is say this add referenced assembly, and that should work. Okay. So this way we should know that we have a unique set of assemblies. Okay. Turn this to fill again. Always, oh, this will be easy. This will only take a couple of minutes, and then you do this, and it's like, yeah, that didn't work at all. So what are you failing on now? Route data. So wait a minute. I put in route data, didn't I? Put in endpoint route builder. Fine. Route data. Now, I don't care whatever assemblies you think you need. I'll just keep putting them in there. Whatever it is that you need to run. What failed now? I endpoint route builder does not contain a definition for map get. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong here? This is an endpoint route builder. And so if I come back over here, I bet I'm missing something. So we're doing on an endpoint route builder app map get. This is an extension. Yeah, of course it is. And it's in routing. Okay. What did I say? A builder. I got routing. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm getting all confused. Too much to look at. Map get. It is in routing. And it is in builder. Oh. No, not there. Yeah, well, you need the namespace there for it to build, you dummy. And I'm talking to myself on that one. That's my fault. I thought I didn't need it anymore, but apparently I do because it is an extension method, and that's my fault. So let's see what it does now. Still fails. Still fails. except it's now a diff of the baseline. So that's a little, yes, because I took that out. Are there any other pluses in here? Did we get everything else right? Looks like we did. Yes. Okay. So that was the one thing, is just making sure I put this back. Why do you jump around like that? Stop it. My God. Just hold the line. Yeah. And it doesn't fail. It passes. Yay. Yay. And there's much rejoicing. So let's do 4 here, and then we'll update the other tests. One of the things I've also been thinking of is, you notice the way I have this built is that the generators, there's all these builders. Now these builders will just emit pieces of code. So, one of the things I'm playing with is the NuGet packages that I reference here in the tests, specifically this one. There's a lot of heavy lifting to make sure, like, what you're seeing is that this is the code I have, this is the generated code that I'm looking to have, but it also will compile it and tell you what's wrong. And that's actually really helpful. I used to, like, for a while, hand roll my own testing for source generators and analyzers and all this other stuff. And I realized, no, the template project that comes in Visual Studio when you install the compiler API SDK, and then you get that create an analyzer with the code fix, it actually generates all these helper classes in your test project if you do it that way. And I'm like, no, I don't like that. But that's what these NuGet packages have, is all those helper classes. And again, it makes it a lot easier to say, if you you have the right code there, it matches, but it also will make sure that it can compile. And that's a big help. But what I am looking at doing is actually saying, okay, let's just have one test for the source generator that pretty much covers all the cases with one, and just have that one in there, and then have tests for each one of these little builders, and then be able to say, maybe like try to do like a what's the syntax factory, like parse, and just say parse the right kind of parse, and then see if there's any, like, what am I looking for? If there's any like diagnostics in there or whatever, just to make sure that the code is in somewhat of a decent shape, because writing these for all of this can get to be a little bit cumbersome, and they can get to be quite long. So that's another thing just I'm thinking about. But now what I need to do is, as you can see, this is what I just was getting at, is now I need to put routing in all these. I need to change the endpoint endpoint route builder extensions. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. That's right. endpoint route. I can't remember anything. Builder extensions. And that's what I want to put in here. Let's go through all these. We'll add in the using statement in just a minute. That, and then come on to this one and put that in here. That there. Come down here. And do that there. And do that there. And then that there and do that there. Okay. So now all these should pass. So I create some helpers that make it easy to use strings for source generators. Yeah, I mean, if you want to post the link, I can take a look at it. I did pretty much fall, though, on using the NuGet packages, just because I find them actually to be pretty helpful in getting stuff done. But yeah, I'll take a look at them. Okay, so what? Not the syntax visualizer. So 4 failed. Well, of course 4 failed. Why would anything work? Back up the tape. What did I just say I was going to do? people, person. What did I say I was going to do? I forgot to do that here. So at least be some of these. And I'm putting in there. And maybe all of them? I don't know. There's one test that I know where I have like 2 contexts, and I may have forgotten to put it into one of the generated code outputs. So we'll see. Still 4. Still 4. What now? Web application. Oh, well, if you're going to return the if you're going to return this, then you need to make sure that you're returning it, right? I mean, that would be a big thing. So, right. Let's do that. And then here. And one more time with feeling. Okay, now what's going to fail? We know we're close. So the link is here. I don't know if the link actually came through, Andy. I'm not seeing it. So, okay, now they all pass. So, all right, so that's good. Let's hash of updated to endpoint folder. Sure. Okay, so that takes that off the list of things to potentially do tonight. No. So we talked about this. Now the correct codes thing. Okay, so let's all this and then up a little bit. And let's say what application extensions. Oh, not that one. API extensions. They're saying results. Okay. Okay, so let's do these one by one. I don't want to get a little bit too ahead of myself. Oh, not sure if YouTube is actually, let me hide that one. Not sure if YouTube is deleting the links. Yeah, probably. It unfortunately might be. It might be the YouTubes. DM me on Twitter. I mean, you see my Twitter handle there and my name there at Jason Box. So, although I've been told that my DM is, I have DMs closed for some reason, so that might not be as work as well. So I don't know. Maybe put a comment to the YouTube video. If you can put the link there, that might work. Try that. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube would be deleting. I don't have anything set up to say don't take links, but I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, so map instant get all does map get, and then from map get he just does result. Okay. So if I look at what I'm doing with the builder, so this is get all. This is my get all, and I'm just saying return the DB table name, which is doing DB set of C. What I want it to do is say results okay of that. Say results okay of that. And it's done. Ship it. That's all you need to do. They do in the comments as well. Oh, geez. If you have a Twitter account, you could post it on Twitter and include me on the tweet, and then I'd see it that way. So it's 2022. How hard is it to share a URL? I don't know. So that kind of sucks, actually. You'd think it'd be easier than that, but yay, technology. Okay, so that's the build get. And then by ID, he's doing something a little bit different, which I just say await it and return it. But now, of course, you have to be a little bit. This is going to make all my generated code fun because it's all going to break because of this. But that's fine. That's okay. Because all this is what we have hard coded here with the find async. All I need to do here, though, is now change this into, instead of being an expression body member, I need to actually do it as a this. Okay. That's the if, and that's that. And then we want one more of these. So now here what we want to say is var out value. Jeff, I don't like your names. so, so we say var out value. And then what we're going to do is indent writer, red line, that. I can't abide by these things that have one lines and they don't have their own like braces around it. I know I just can't do that. It just doesn't work for me. What I can do here though is I can put the curly braces here, and then at least I'm happy. Okay, that's fine. And then otherwise we're just going to return that, which makes sense. Okay, so we'll do the writer line that. Okay. I think we've just added in for get by ID. Now let's go look at post. I need another drink. So hold on one second. So that's the route based off of this. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. And then he just says URL. Oh, that's the created URL from the, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Got it. I had to think about a second about what he was doing there. I really need to adjust my camera here because I feel like my head is getting squashed by my name because I keep like moving down, and then my voice is fine, but then my lips get under my name there. I have to keep sitting straight up, and then my back hurts because I'm old. Sent you some tweets. Let me know if you received them. I have. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you did include them. Yep, I did. So I will take a look at them later. Okay. Thank you. All right, cool. So back to post. So we do db add. We have here, and then we await the changes, and then we're going to look up. His lookup is the ID. ID lookup is a type and get the value of the new object. What the hell is this? I get what he's trying to do, which is to return a URL to say this is where it was created, and oh, by the way, here's the new object. So I mean that makes sense. It also is the body is the shape of the table, and not probably something you don't want to necessarily be the shape of the table itself, but that's a different time to talk about that one. In any event, so we're doing ID lookup, and then you get, what is get value? Oh, it's the property. Oh. 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 Yeah. Okay. So he's doing this whole thing where he's looking up, there's a key attribute, or if he uses ID, and then he's saying the type is the type of the set. So in this case, contact, that specific type. And then that's the property. What am I a post? ID post. Okay, so then you're looking the property on that new object. That's the new ID. See, this is another spot where source generators will win because I won't need to do this. I can just look up what the name of the property is and put that in there, I think. So sort of. Get ID parse code. Yeah. This says parse the ID from the route into the correct type, but what I need to, this is not a table type. This is the property type. Who's calling ID parse code, by the way? So this is the table's ID type. That's the named types. Do I have property type? This is the table name. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Table name builder. This is what's creating the table config. Okay. Sometimes you forget what you're trying to do. This is the table data. This gives me the name of the table. This gives me the essentially the type of the set. And then this is the ID type. What I also want is the ID name. Not just the type, I want the ID name as well. Okay. So let's force that. Okay, so we'll put that in here. Public string. ID name. So get ID type ID name. ID name. Now there should be some broken code in here. This will find where this is internal to our generator. Okay, so where is this breaking? I don't care about the warnings and I don't care about the messages. This is what I care about. Is the ID property type name. And if it doesn't have a name because we didn't find the property type. So see, coding is simple when it's simple. These are words of wisdom or something. I don't know. Just making crap up. Okay. So we're at the endpoint router. We did the get and the get ID. Now the post is where we need to go back again to saying, we really want to just say this at the end of the day. We did this. Let's flip over to, and be careful. I cannot accidentally tab over to here and then turn off StreamYard because I'll go away for about 10 seconds and people are going to go, where'd he go? What happened? And in writer, right line. Something like that. Except no, the actual value. Yeah, we're going to, okay, hold on. Writer, line. I gotta do a thing. Var ID is equal to, and we need off of new object, we need is at table.name. So we're going to say, in this case, you have to have one. We had to have found one in this case. So yeah. Is that necessarily true? I'm not sure, but I think so. Now here what we could say is, what is he doing? Putting in the URL here, which we also want to do. Right? Except the URL is going to be what we have. This might be a little tricky. Post. Yeah, that's the URL there. That's a table variable name, table variable name. Yeah, okay. I think. What we want to do is put this in here, except we have to, the mind bending part of stuff. Oh my God. Hold on. My brain is melting for just a moment here. We're putting in a string that is the URL. Okay. So when I say map post there, what invoke is doing is saying, give me the URL back for this table name for the post. Which is fine. Except we could probably yes. Here we're saying there's going to be an ID in there. This is the okay. So hold on. I'm going to pass in something that kind of looks. We don't need to say ID to string, but we need to say like ID. This is wrong code because what we really want here is created. It's a string. So we need to do an interpolated string within an interpolated string. Because why not, right? So we want to say we're actually doing an interpolated string here. Okay. And what we want to pass in the interpolated string is the post's URL. Okay. Invoke there. except that actually has to be interpolated. Okay. And then we need to actually pass in the ID. See, simple. Oh my God, if that actually works or not. So what we're saying is off of the new the new thing we just made, go to the property, get its ID, and then we want to return a route that says return results created. What's in that is another string that's interpolated, and that has go get the route post here, put on the ID after it. Now, this is also assuming something. No, it's not. Is it? Sort of, maybe. The thing I'm debating in my head is does your get by ID naturally work with a post with the /ID after it? That's an assumption there. And I'm going to put this in here. This to do. We're assuming that the created route is the same as post /ID. That might not be true at all. Like we want to give back a route that says, if you want to go get what you just posted, here's how you do it. So yeah, if you are doing some really weird customization, I think what you would want to have is a way to say, what does your created route look like? So, and this may not be true. Now I'm just going to keep it this way because, we're still in MVP world, but I would think that we'd really want to think this through and say, what does the route created look like? And in most cases, like if I look at what I did in my helpers, I think like the post is API this, the get by ID is route with the ID in it. I think that's what most people would do. But if for some reason you put something else in here and you didn't hear, then it wouldn't map and it wouldn't work. But you can't just use this because this is actually giving a literal string back. And then you'd have to somehow say, well, where does the ID actually fit into it? So I think what you'd probably want to do is something like route created and take a func of a string, another string potentially, and then return a string. And that would say when you do your created route. So yeah, I think that's probably the route we would, no pun intended, the route we would eventually want to go, but not for right now. I just want to get the damn thing to work. Okay, put. So what's put look like? Catch, we do entry, and thank God, this is the easy one. You just say return. So we're going to say indented writer, right line, return, no content. Okay. And what about delete? Say find it. If it's null, go breaking more code, breaking more comparison diffs. Yay. Then we say table name remove. So this one's also going to be fairly easy. Okay. Okay. And that should be it. Now, of course, again, this is going to break a whole bunch of crap. So let's run these tests. That's down here. Again, let's keep it simple. Let's just do that. And let's see what happens. It's going to break. We know it's going to break. Actually, oh crap. those results. Yeah, that's in a namespace that I don't have either. So that's going to bust everything. Okay, hold on. One moment, please. One moment, please. Let's put namespaces. Add that in there. Get the space out of there. Okay. And then we're also going to want to probably here and say type of results. Assembly. Here. You know this works. We can take out that code. Okay. And we can take out some other stuff here. Okay. And we get it. Okay. But you know, all right. Let's see if this gets us any success. Of course it doesn't. We know that. But let's see what the diff is like. Let's just grab all this. Over there, Notepad++. Let's open up a new tab here. Shrink it a little bit so we can see what we're doing. That makes sense. We want to make sure that we have our thing in here for the result. That's good. That goes after builder. Okay. The next thing that's different. Down here. Yes, we used to say DB contacts, except now we say results okay. DB contacts. Okay. And here we say oh yeah, there's no longer a this. Okay. Yeah, we put that. Okay. Yes. I want to put that in there. Okay. So what we want to say is that's the this is oh, yeah, okay, I'm looking at the right thing. Var out value is equal to that. And then we want where am I? That. So that needs to be that. Okay. Then it's that. That one. So this is now post. I can already tell that that code didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to. So that. Well, that did. Oh, I already see one thing wrong with that too. DB context builder. Let's get rid of that and come back up here. And nope, not that one. This is post. Forgot semicolon. We also forgot a bunch of other things too. Also turned into this monstrosity, and that is not what we wanted at all. Well, no, it is. Wait a minute. No, it is. It is. Results created. Table contacts route post invoke table contacts name. You know what we just did here, though, is a closure. Yeah, can you reach up somehow and say, what is the URL that I just passed in? Yeah, this is ugly because it's a closure there, and I don't really want that. But that's actually legit. Yeah, it's got all messed up. All the escaping. Well, I know what's screwing it up is that it thinks it needs a there. See, it's just that simple. And that, there we go. See, no problem. All's good with the world. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. But it isn't because, as I'm reading this again, um, I really, yeah, I'm closing over the table contacts there and then having to get the URL twice. And I'd rather not do that. I wonder if I can just say like const string URL there and then call app. That might, okay, now that I think about it, that might actually be better. So here, what I'd want to say is if you do this, it's in the right line, const string URL is equal to is all of this. Except we want this to be an actual string. So I'll say this, all that in there. Okay, so now what we can actually say here is post this URL here, and then the created here just ends up being this. That looks much cleaner. At least I think it does. Okay. So we're actually going to end up here saying const string URL is equal to no. I don't want that to this. It's literally what comes out. Okay, I'm over doing it here. I literally want it to be that. So I can say here URL. And just put in. Okay. All right. Update. Let's put. Okay. Attach, modifieds, and then we just throw on, content. There. Okay. I think it's the same thing for this last one. Yeah, what else do? There. See what breaks now. Yeah. Yeah, let's just grab all this. Okay, so in the get by ID, I do say await. Oh, I didn't put that in the top. Okay. that. And that. I think I had it right there. Okay. Results create. Do I have like a space? Yeah, I do. Jeez. There. That matters. I have the same thing here. Oh no, I just say if object null, I put in that. Now I'll run it again. What did I forget this time? But of course. Actually, you did it that way. I mean, that is the way I'm doing it, right? If I go down to the delete. Yeah, okay. And so hopefully this will work with one, then we'll get to work with 4, then I'll update the other ones, and then I'm going to run it against the actual API project to make sure that it all works. Check it in, and I think I'm done for the night. Okay, now of course we've got problems. The name async does not exist. Oh, I must be missing something somewhere. Oh God. This is going to be a mess because it doesn't actually give you back the well, you know what we can do is just put in a space here. And if we're off by that, that'll be the one line that comes through, and then we can at least see the rest of the code and go eyeball it and go, where's the missing semicolon? You know what I mean? Yep. So grab all that in there. The one thing that should be off is that. Okay. So now let's look at the rest of this. That I think is okay. Map get. And what I should do is just get rid of this, that. We get the const string URL that, add new or wait. Let's not wrap. Just make the code a little bit smaller. Modify, results will changed. Oh. Yeah, I missed that. Okay. So that's the map get for the this. Because it's not this. It's that. It used to, I think, just be find by sync, and now we're actually doing results not found. We're doing a little bit extra code. I just forgot that part there. I hope that's all that I was missing. So now it would just be this. Still failing. Oh, what am I missing now? Oh, it's because I didn't take out the space. I was watching Jeff's stream this morning, and then I had to do like 2 hours of training at work this morning for something, and then I came back and he was still going. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, what am I? Oh, did I? Yeah, I forgot to put that there. Now that I'm doing the right thing, I forgot to put the right thing in the code. It's still not working. How many diagnostics? 23. Oh my God. How bad did I screw this up? The name I think doesn't. Like line 56. This might not line up correctly with. Oh, well, yeah, map post. No, 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 no. I still took that off. Yeah, that was wrong. Should not have done that. That should be this. There we go. Still failed. Well, now it's failing because I didn't actually put this here. Always need that. Whether you have a block body or an expression body member, you still need that. Oh, now it's 68. Well, that's even better. Oh my God. Jeez. I've totally botched this, haven't I? $42. Oh, boy. Hmm. What I might need to do is just plop this into a separate. Come on, using InstantAPIs editor. Come along for the ride. Wait a minute. Why does it look like a? Oh, no, 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 because that's the name. So, okay. Yeah. Let me just have to pop this into a file here and say, show me all the things. Name X. You start to show me where I've screwed things up. Not all can pass return a value. I know that. You don't know what customer contacts. That doesn't matter. Oh, there's one too many there. Oh, that fixes a lot. So when I do the get find by sync, I was doing L value. That's all I need, right? Yeah, I had one too many there. Let's cuddle that out. We'll remove that file once I know that this is actually building. I shouldn't actually have that in here though. I do. So now that's gonna, yeah. Live coding. It will be fun, they said. You'll be great, they said, or something. Two. Well, okay, that's better than 68. So the expression being assigned to Earl must be constant. Oh, yeah. You can't. That's fine. Can't say that. Can't say that. Var. Or else equal to that. So that was one of them that was failing. What was the other one? An object of a type convertible to iResult is required. Well, let's run this now and see what this does. One. An object of a type convertible to iResult is required. $93. This is 36. 129. Interesting. If that's the line that it's complaining about, then how does that work? Why was I? Oh my God. Oh my God. How did I miss that? Not found. I meant to do. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. This should actually be return result not found. Okay. There. That makes sense. So, okay. Passes. Now we're cooking with fire. Now we're cooking with something. Four pass. Now we're getting somewhere. No, I don't want to look at GitHub desktop. Shut up. These probably I just need to like update the generated code with the differences. Nothing. So we'll do that in a couple minutes. So the contacts is this. This is map post. So I put this in here. And we do this. Making sure that. Oh. Well, that ain't gonna work. What is this test? Yeah, but it doesn't have an ID. How are you going to be able to do a post if you can't return an ID back? I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do. It doesn't have an ID. How can you insert if you don't have an ID? Maybe Jeff has some rule in here that says if you're going to do this, then you have to make sure that your table actually has this. God, what do I do at this point? I mean, for the simple case, when you put in an ID, then it'll work. But if your DB context doesn't have an ID, then, if that table doesn't have an ID, then what are you going to do here? I guess don't even look to see if you can insert. I must be doing this like forget by ID. Yes. You're not going to be able to post now unless you have a ID. And that's probably a deviation from what Jeff has. That's my guess, because I can't return an ID back if the table doesn't have an ID. So this now gets put up in here. You don't do this anymore because you can't. Which, makes my code simpler. You can put is fine. Because what does a put do? Post, put. Yeah, it just says no content back. Okay. So that's okay. And then let's come down here because we know we're not going to be doing this anymore. That one. Okay. Except we need this one line now in both of those. Right? That's the put. Yep. Okay. Something up here. Up there. I really want to get this so I can get to the point of running it through Swagger and all that other stuff. Of course it fails. Jesus. Well, you need HTTP, right? Anything else I'm not doing the way I think I should be doing it? Okay. So there, there. What now? What are you complaining about? Is that it? Oh, go away. Yeah, I forgot to. I did it here, not down on this one. But yeah, that's what I forgot. Yep. Fail again. Good. They both. Okay, they pass. They pass. They pass. Good. 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 Okay, this has a key. So that's going to happen. Yeah, we know a bunch of other junk is going to change here, but that's okay. Let's just run this and get our generated diffs, and then it's all good. Get to hear my mouse doing a lot of scrolling. Always a good thing. Okay. So on that is this. Right? It's just no. It has to be tabs, otherwise it will bark. Wait. No, it took that, yeah, from yeah, backed up one. Okay. This is let's just back it up, back it up, back it up. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And then we grab these there. Of course. That. And you need to be, oh, you need to. There. Easy. And of course, this. And that. Now let's see what you do. You fail. Why do you fail? Because this. Oh my God, stop it. Why does this scroll so badly? Hold the line. Anything else that I blatantly screwed up? Nope. Okay. fast. Okay, how many more? This one, that one doesn't generate any code, and then this one. Okay. Getting close. Two more. Two more. Yep, I know you're going to fail. Fail because first, you don't have that in there. Right. And actually, let's do this right away. Let's take all this, back it up. So we have it backed up. Okay. So we got that. Then we need this for the map get. Okay. We have a post there. Well, the post is gone. Why is the post? Because I said it's gone, right? Yes, we don't do a post because we don't have an ID. So it goes away. Thanks, me. You're good, me. Thank you, me. And we just have this one thing here on the bottom. Bob's your uncle. I'm learning just little weird tricks to making this a little faster to get updated. It still doesn't work. Oh, dear Lord. It's because that has too many tabs. And, you got to have your tabs right. Because if you don't have your tabs right, then it's not right. And now it passes. Okay, what's the last one? What was the last one? Like, as a contact does not have ID. Don't just do this up here? What's the difference? Different than that. Oh, the namespace is different. Okay. So I think we probably could grab most of this. Maybe. But we could probably grab all of this. And not live dangerously. Right? Let's run all the tests. Oh, of course. The key combination is bound to something because you are just not figuring it out. We're almost there. We'll shut down and start up again if all these tests pass. We'll throw in my instance API stuff, and then I'm going to call it a night. I'm not going to get into the configuration stuff because I think I need to talk to Jeff about that one and see where we go from that. Okay, they all pass. Good. Let's do another commit. What did I just do here? What have we been doing? What have we been doing? Why are we here? Oh, got the APIs to return thing. I'll do that. And now shut this down and start it up again so we can generate our code. And I don't know why it doesn't show up in the list there anymore. Yeah, I have to come there. It used to be able that I could just say 2022 and then like the latest project would be in the list there, and it's not doing that anymore. I don't know why. But that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, I'm getting all, now that the project's loading is because I just do this on my laptop, and when it gets all CPU bound, I get a little stuttery, but that's okay. All So, oh, Jeff, why did you delete all my stuff? Why did you delete all my stuff? Map my context APIs. Yeah, what does that look like? Beautiful. It looks so just exactly what I wanted. We will not play with the configuration right now. What we are going to do is run this. No, don't stop. Stop. I don't want that stuff. And something else I got to talk to him about, now that I think about this, is have two different kinds of API exe projects. One for reflection, one for source generator. Okay. Just pull this over, open the Swagger page over here. Now just make sure, yep, this is mapping my contacts. So if I say get here and I say try it out, we should get two, right? Because those are the ones that Jeff makes. And then if I say get one with a 2, I say try that out, that should work. And it does. All right, we want to post. We want to post a new one, right? So say try it out. So we're going to put in 10 here. We're going to say it's JSON, and we're going to say it's JSON at. This is not, don't try that because I don't know where that's going to go. That's not me. Execute that. What do we get? We got 201 undocumented. Sure. Wait, the post. The post. What the post? Shouldn't it have given us the URL back with the ID in it? I missed something. That's the request body. That's the response. Oh, location. Okay. So it's saying if we went to there, we would get back what we would expect if you just follow what I just said. So now if I come here and I say post for 10, we should get mine back to you. Now if I say put here, as I try it out, we need a 10. We'll just say 10 again, except we're going to say it's mock at jaddb.com. So execute. And that should give us a 204, which sure, if we come back up here now, we say get all, we should say 10 and the J. Okay, good. And then the last one is the delete, which we're going to say, let's delete my 10. And we got that. So we come back up here. Let's run all. Wait. Now I got the two back. Okay, cool. So they all map in. That's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, good. Let's say commit or stash, and let's not bring in contacts. What? Undo changes. Why? Oh, because that's still. There we go. 12 confirmed new changes in API app, that there. And that leads us, I think, to the last thing for tonight, which shows you, well, not, I'm going to talk about a couple of these things, and then we're going to close it out. The before and after concept, this is something I don't think is on the list. This is some idea that Jeff and I had to say, if you wanted to do something like, let's actually take my code that I generate here as a template. So it's over here. Do that. Shrink it back down again. Do something, and this, there's no thought out about this other than like a map get. And somehow you have in here to say before, I don't know. Okay. And what you pass in here can be, God, I don't know. Like what? No idea. But it's some way to tell you, hey, for this route, maybe we pass in the route, maybe we pass in the the URL and the ID. I have no idea what we do here. Okay. And then right before you return, we say after. Okay. I'm gonna let you know. Maybe in this case now we give you the something like that. So some pre and post things that you can do, and you are doing your map calls. And it's just a thought where that would come from. Like, would it come from configuration? I don't know. I'll save it. So that, I just wanted to mention that real quick. That is an idea that we've talked about a little bit, but no real pressing thing on that yet. And I have no plans on that just yet. Talk about perf work. I just want to talk about that. Would be nice to actually do something where we have a benchmark.net thing set up to say, if you call this, if you call, if you use the reflection approach and use the source generator approach, which one is better, which one is faster, slower, whatever, and get some more real numbers around it. That might be something I just do. The duplicating the configuration, something I've talked to Jeff about. I'm not entirely sure if we really want to do that, because some of the things I'm doing in configuration, the way I've done it for the source generator, is somewhat source generator specific. The whole thing of, if I come back into the working API and I come back to program here and I say context APIs, you'll notice that there is this configuration that I can say our fig is equal to new. You saw what this was. It was of course, now I'm losing it. Oh, of course, now you won't even go. Now you won't. Oh my God. It's this name. Okay. So I can say, is this yes. Yep. Yeah. What we can also do is, how did I do this before? Oh, no. That's right. You do this, and then you say config at context tables contacts dot key you can't change. The APIs I can say is equal to APIs to generate get plus delete, or I can do all those things. I can say is included at all, and I could say included yes or no. No, then it doesn't matter what you say for APIs. You can also do this. You can say out get, and that's a func of string. So I can say that that is, this is a func of string. Yeah, that takes the um, table name and that puts it into something, and then I could go return back just table name. Aha. And that would be the route. Okay. So you can do all this configuration. So I find this personally to be a little bit easier um, than what Jeff has, but because again, this is generated by the generator, and so my thought tonight is let's still not touch this, and I think I might keep this in parallel because if we end up going the route of this configuration, this one again has this whole include table with the DB context already created, and I don't need that. Boom, this is just all here, and I think this fits better with what you want to do with the source generator approach. So I think I'm going to keep it that way for now. But anyway, that's all I'm going to do for tonight. I think I went through the whole list mostly. This one API project, I'll think about that off on my own time. So yeah, I think I'm done for tonight. So for anybody that was watching, thank you for joining and attending. Hopefully it was interesting. I'm finding this to be still quite fun to do. And I have a whole list of things I can do live streaming every Thursday night. But as long as Jeff keeps adding things to the API project, this InstantAPIs, I will keep up. I do think at some point this this PR that I have out here, it's like at some point it has to be merged in because I'm continually taking and then doing my work and putting it back in, and it still hasn't been accepted. And I'm like, can you just accept it? But yeah, I need to talk to him about this whole configuration thing. But anyway, it's still fun, and I plan to keep up with the with parity. And like I also said to Jeff is, at some point, once we do emerge with the PR, is say if the new feature comes in and somebody wants to do that as a source generator stuff, they can just add it in themselves. I mean, I don't want to be necessarily the only person that does the source generator stuff. So, maybe we look at using Scribbin or whatever that other thing is to do the templating. Who knows? But yeah, fun stuff, and I will have something for next Thursday. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching it live or you watch it later, and I will see you at the next stream. Have a good evening or morning or wherever you are.